Hello, everybody. Today we are going to speak about TestShell. The subject that we will discuss today are reservation and scheduling. We will see how easy it is to reserve a resource or a topology and schedule it for your usage. So let's start with a short presentation. If you remember, this pyramid shows you all the capabilities of TestShell. Now we will speak about reservation and scheduling. So probably you remember Dave. Dave is the IT manager or lab manager. He can configure and access all the resources. He is in charge of the resource manager actually. Now, for example, let's say that Dave provides resources to the integration group. Now this is the integration group, and each one of them needs to access specific resource and use it for tests, for support issues. It doesn't matter exactly what is the resource itself, and it doesn't matter what is the usage of each and every individual that is now working with the system. The resource manager can give resources to different types of users, from IT people to QA integration to R&D, and even support guys that are doing support for their customers and need to reserve and configure a topology or reconstruct an environment in order to build their customer topology and reconstruct bugs that are coming from the customer. Now, what are the pains? How hard it is to do it when you are not working with resource manager and not all your resources are in one database and can be shared between all clients? So first, the resources that each and every company have are limited. So we need to see how to divide the resources between all the users. We need to how to solve conflicts when there is a resource shortage, like if few people need to use the same resource in the same time. Who got priority? Who is the most important person or project to use a specific resource? How to increase resources usage? For example, you have like very expensive equipment that you are using, and you want everybody to share it, and you want it to be working 24/7. So with a resource manager, you can see when the resource is free, and you can book and schedule it for your usage when it's free and boost up the usage. And how to avoid buying redundant equipment. And this, I mean, if, for example, you have one big packet generator in your company, and people from different divisions are coming and saying, look, I need more resources, I need more ports to the XTR. Now, with the resource manager, you can build a report that will let you know how much usage and how much in percentage people are using the XTR packet generator now. And then if you will see that it's being used only 10 to 20% of the time, you can see that you can just need to manage the work and the resource better, but you can save a lot of money and not buy new equipment. Okay, so let's talk about TestShell and reservation scheduling. So you have a central calendar-based scheduling. You can plan ahead lab operations. You can resolve allocation conflicts, and you can locate device availability in a snap. This is how the calendar looks like, very similar to Outlook. very similar to Outlook. You see that you have here the search. You can search devices. Here you can schedule during the week or whenever you want a topology, a specific resource, or how many resources that you need. If you remember this slide from last presentation, you know now that all your inventory are in a central database and everything is being shared with all the clients and all the users in the lab. Now, each user can locate the needed resources by himself from a specific device to a whole topology. Each user can schedule his usage when needed, according to his time zone, work progress, and needs. Now, for example, if I need to do tests with a packet generator or another resource, I don't need to take it like a week in advance. I just need to schedule it to the time when I know that I will finish my test plan and I will finish everything that I needed to do, and I can access and use the equipment only when I'm doing actually tests and working with it. The resources will be available for the user who reserves them, and other users will see it as busy, meaning that if I'm having a topology reserved to myself, nobody else can reserve it, and nobody else will take it because they will know that I'm using it. And now resources can be shared between users. For example, different users can share a packet generator, each will use its own port. For example, if you are building your database and you are saying that the basic resource is an XIA port with a specific IP address or a specific blade, few people can access the same resource at the same time, and you don't need to physically have it like in the traditional way in your lab. Now this is the example of the calendar of the resource manager. You can see here that this reservation, for example, is for Bob, this is for Mike. You can see here that those reservations are in parallel and they are using different resources, and you can see if I want like to book a topology or like a resource, I can see I can schedule it whenever I want. If you are doing also working with the automation, you can also of course schedule automated procedures and tests to be done on Saturday and Sunday, which is usually more equipment is free because people tend to less use it over the weekends, but then you can boost up the usage of your equipment and use your resources more and more. Now this is very easy to use database and software. For example, if you have like a topology that you built and configured in advance, you just take it and drag it inside the calendar. I will, in a few minutes, you will see it, and reserve it when you need it. Let's say, for example, that you have a topology which include like a device under test for something that your company is producing or developing, and you have, for example, either topology, another router or a switch, and a few XIA ports. You build the topology, you can call it topology, traffic topology, you can give it a name which have a meaning for you, and just it will be stay there for you, and just you can reserve it anytime you want. You can also even do automatic tests and automatic commands, and the topology will be ready for you with a specific configuration. Now let's, for example, see a conflict that you may have when you are doing scheduling, when you are working with the calendar. So let's say that Tom and Jerry need a specific expensive resource for completing their task. Tom already scheduled the resource. Now Jerry will see it as unavailable. Now what Jerry can do? First, he can search. Jerry can see when the resource is available and schedule it. Meaning I can see that Tom is using it now, but probably he won't use it tomorrow, or I can see the free time of the specific resource and I can use it. Another possibility that Jerry can ask Tom via mail or via phone to release it if Jerry just schedule it, but he's not going to use it now, or we can use it sometime in a different time. We can also move his reservation and give the reservation to Tom. Now Jerry can find a similar resource using the resource search tool, meaning that if, for example, he needs a specific router, but it doesn't need, but other router with the same attributes or same capabilities will also be good for him. He can do it as well. He can search for it as well and reserve it instead. It can be done for every resource and for even a whole topology of resources. Now we have few advanced options, like when scheduling a resource, the resource can be automatically configured and ready to work for one device or to a whole topology. Meaning if you want to reconstruct your client environment, you can prepare everything and it will be ready for you when you are like speaking with your customer. If you want your customer to access the specific topology and explain something that is like if you have a bug in this system. You can also schedule tasks and tests to run automatically at night or weekend runs when the resources are free. And you can, of course, build drivers and write new commands for like checking what the image version is in a specific device. You can do like load image for a specific device, and everything will be ready for you when you start working with your reservation. Now let's see scheduling and sharing examples like equipment sharing between regions and time zones. Now one of our customers is like based in United States and in Bangalore. Now you see that everyone got a specific local lab which is using, and also shared lab. Now the time zones between India and the US is like, you have like almost 12, even more hours between them. So you can see that the working hours are a little bit different. So in the Bangalore morning, probably all the New York people are sleeping, and all the equipment is free for the usage of the Bangalore lab. And when the day is over in India, the working day is over in India, the people in New York are starting to work and they can access the same equipment. So actually, each one can schedule the work in its own timing zone, in its own time, and you can see that the equipment is being shared without interruptions and without interference between labs. And actually, you can use like half the equipment that you're used to use. Now, what are the benefits and value that we receive from the resource manager and the scheduling and evaluation? So first of all, users can request equipment with specific resource or a whole topology in advance according to the work schedule, work progress, and needs. Meaning if I know that I have like a test plan to do and I have a specific test that I will need to run, so I can schedule for a week from now the topology that I need. Meanwhile, work on the test plan, approve the test plan with all the other people that I'm working with, discuss the configuration and everything. And only when I need the specific equipment, I will reserve it and I will use it. Second, you can quickly solve resource conflicts and find open slots for tasks and activities and prioritize tasks. Meaning that I can see, okay, the resource that I need is now being scheduled by someone else. I can see when it's free and I schedule it when it's free. And if I have like a conflict because I need to use a specific equipment with another person, I can address him by email, by phone. I can try to search for another equipment with my search tool, and I can and I have all the possibilities to resolve it and reserve equipment according to priorities of tasks, priorities of projects. Another thing that I have is like improve resources usage and avoid buying redundant equipment, meaning I can see how much I'm using the equipment that I still got. I can see what is the usage in percentage and of course boost it and avoid buying more equipment, which probably will lower the average of equipment usage that I have now. And I have easy sharing across different physical sites from different labs in the same building even to different countries and different time zones. Each one will access the equipment from its own location. Each one will work with the equipment in its own time. Everybody can share the equipment, whether it's on the same building and it's on the different time zones. Those are links that you have for tutorials and the knowledge base and forums that we got. You remember that everything that we are issuing, you can find it in the portal and you can use it and you can ask questions and everything that you need. So to summarize this short presentation, we spoke about the resource sharing page, resource conflicts and low resource utilization. And we spoke about the TestShell solution, what is how we schedule and reserve resources and topologies, how we are solving conflicts and boosting usage, and lab management and automated procedures that we can do on top of the resource manager. Now I want to speak about a little bit about frequently asked questions that we have from customers or from potential customers when we introduce the resource manager. So first, why should I schedule a reservation even? Like if I can take the equipment and I can work with it. So what you are saying that by scheduling the reservation, all other users will know that you are using a resource topology and you can plan your workflow and tasks. Meaning you don't have to take the Ixia packet generator or Abacus or any other expensive equipment to your lab and physically hold it. Everybody can use it, everybody can share it, and everybody can reserve it. Now you are like if you are like a test engineer, QA engineer, integration, or you are handling support from your customer, you know when you will need an equipment and you know your workflow. So you can schedule it according to your needs and according to your work. Now can I have like a storage reservation? Of course you can. The same as you can schedule a weekly meeting in the same time for every week, you can schedule the same weekly topology for your users. What if the needed resource is already being reserved? So when a customer is asking what happens, so we have like a few different ways. We spoke about it already, but I want to repeat it a little bit just to so we have like few options that we can do. First, you can find another time to use this resource, another day, another hour that to use it. With the easy search feature, I can find a replacement resource It can be in another lab, it can be like in a different chassis of traffic generator. You can ask TestShell administrator to assign another resource to the domain. For example, if like we have few domains for the usage of different groups, we spoke about it last time, 2 weeks ago, about domains. I can ask the IT manager if it's possible for him to assign a different equipment if he does. So if something else is free, he can do that for us. And of course, we can see who is using the equipment, and we can ask if he can give us the equipment for a specific timing and schedule it for another time to use that. How TestShell can help my workflow and setup the thing. First, you can use different types of automated actions to be done on the topology resources when your reservation starts. What we mean is the reservation can start and automatic procedures and tasks will be done in the beginning, and the topology will wait for you for your reservation ready to use. As well as you can have actions such as the load image in the press of a button when your reservation starts. How TestShell will increase my resources usage. Now with TestShell, you will be able to see and measure the equipment usage. Your resources usage will push up because it will be shared and not taken by one engineer each time. TestShell is about easy sharing and using. So everybody can work with the same equipment. Nobody will take the physical equipment and put it in his own lab for his own use and use it only like in very short time during the week. How TestShell will help me from buying redundant equipment. Now, when the exact usage of each device can be measured, you will see that a lot of expensive equipment, such as the packet generators, are not fully used. You can avoid buying redundant equipment when you can see low resources usage. Another aspect is adding automation testing at night and weekends, so your expensive testing equipment will keep on working 24/7. How TestShell will help me share a resource in different locations and time zones. Now today, a lot of companies have multi-sites and multi-locations from different time zones. With TestShell, all users can schedule and reserve resources for topology according to their work time and from different locations. What if I don't want one of the resources to be scheduled because of maintenance? For the IT administrator or for the administrator of the resource manager, it's very easy to do. Just take it out of the domain and it won't be available till maintenance is done. Nobody can reserve this resource when it's out of the domain. If the reservation is blocking the resource for me only, now the resource won't be, it's not like physical lock, but no one else will be able to schedule it at the same time. Meaning that if like somebody else wants like to access the equipment, it can do that. Of course, we can have like we can build drivers and automatic procedures that will prevent other users from accessing the equipment. If the resource can be shared at the same time, like double schedule. Now it depends how you build your resource structure. If, for example, resource packet generator code, of course, it won't be available for sharing, but the all packet generator, of course, if you got a few ports, can be shared between different users, different locations. Now I want to show you a short example of the resource manager itself. This is the resource manager, and this is the admin tab, which a normal user won't be able to see. Where last time we defined users, defined groups, define the domain, define attributes for the resources, and of course construct the resource families and resource structure. And give also utilization report and all. Now the scheduling itself regarding the scheduler, let's see that we can see in a very familiar string like the calendar of the Outlook. You can have it also in a table. You can see today reservation, next range, like in a specific day. This is the 17th in October. This is October in Hebrew. You can browse through the days. You can have a week of resources. For example, you can see the whole week, and you can see in a month. You see that the reservations that I built are only for this week. Usually, the best way to do it is in weekly based configuration, but each one can do it in its own time. Of course, here you have the lab monitor. Just a second. You can see all the resources that we are working with. Here, all the resources that we have. You can go inside, outside, and inspect a specific resource. You see the IP address and different attributes, how many ports are in reservation. You can open the specific device. You can see what you have in a specific device, like this FireNet SmartBits got 1,004 ports. You can, because I'm the admin, I also configure it and everything. Now let's see the reservation tab. Just a second. I want to go back. And close most of it. So let's say that I want to do a new reservation. So I'm pressing this button, new reservation. I want to reserve it, let's say, for tomorrow, let's say between 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, putting dates that I need. Now I have the timing of the reservation. Now I want to see the different resources or topologies that I want. I can have like the topology demo being reserved. Those are all the resources of the topology demo. And I can first check if the resources are free or not. I can see here that the resources are available. Press OK. The topology is being added to my reservation. Now let's go back. And I don't want to reserve it for myself. I want to reserve it, for example, to Bob. Press OK. The reservation is ready. Now, let's see if I want to do another reservation of the same topology in the same time. And let's see how I have a conflict and how I can solve it. Let's go again for tomorrow. And let's put between 5 and 7. And I want a topology to be reserved. Check. You see I have conflicts. So, see conflicts. Those are the resources that have conflicts. Okay, so I can go. I can, for example, see the timing that I see that between 5 and 6 those resources are being reserved. I can say cancel, go back here and reserve it from 6 till 8. I will check. The resources are available. Press OK. Those resources, the same resources, are being reserved. Now, when I'm looking at this calendar, I can see the different users. So if, for example, I had to do it in between 5 and 6, I can ask Bob to give me the reservation, and I can also search for other resources that I need. Let's, for example, do a little bit of searching. Let's say I want it for today, and I want it between 6 and 10, and I want to start searching for resources. So first, let's, for example, I want like a traffic generator. Let's see what I have in my lab. I have different types of resources in my lab. I will take like this, for example, this X here. Press OK. This resource is now in my reservation. I can add another resource. Now, let's say I want to reserve a router. I have different types of routers. Let's, for example, schedule this one. Cisco router, I have this one. Now, let's search for another resource. I want a server. I will take storage server one, edit, put the reservation. Now, for example, I can edit the reservation. If I don't want it for me, I want it for somebody else, I can change it and it will be reserved for another person. I have a reservation ID that I need from time to time if I want to activate automations. So I can activate automations according to reservation ID, and I can have them working with the specific reservations that I have, and all the knowledge between the automation and the resource manager will be shared. Another thing that I can do, I can say, I want this reservation to happen every week on, this is Thursday in Hebrew, and I want it to start from this. I want 10 times that it will happen. I have also the duration that can be changed, the timing that can be changed, can be monthly, yearly, it can be different. So different days, it can be also like different times. I will press OK. Resources are available. I can check it and do the reservation for like 10 times, and as many times as I want. Now, if I will go and do a monthly look for the scheduler, you can see that I have this reservation here being scheduled for me for the coming month. So you can see that I can build a reservation according to a topology. I can add resources and topologies as much as I want. I can have like full flexibility of the reservation and the resources topology. I can see the conflicts. I can see the conflicts in a specific resource. In timing, I can solve conflicts with the resource manager. And actually, I can boost my equipment usage. I can share equipment between different labs and different users, different time zones, different sites. And also I can run command add a reservation start. For example, if I will check, I need a specific, I can specific take a router or a device, and I can have like a command for it ready to load a specific image, and it will happen in the beginning of the reservation. So to summarize what we did today, I showed you the reservation, and we spoke about the reservation and scheduling benefits, who will benefit from this system, and now shared resources and one database with everything, how it help us to work better, to share equipment, to have a really good workflow, and get a lot more from the equipment that we bought, avoid buying redundant equipment, and work smoothly and solve conflicts very easily. So I want to thank you all for participating in this web session. Please feel free to ask me any questions, email me, call me, anything that you need. Everything will be available according this session will be available in Quality Systems portal. So I wish you all a good day and see you next time. Bye-bye.